Well, the economy, while Donald Trump's been president, is worse than we thought. I'm not talking about the job numbers. They're pretty bad. 2 days ago, the Bureau of Labor Statistics said Donald Trump's economy is making 14,000 new jobs a month, which wouldn't sound good if we were living in an island in the Caribbean, let alone in a 300 plus million person economy. And he inherited an economy that was making about 70,000 jobs a month under Joe Biden. Now, we just had a big reduction today that shows that the Bureau of Labor Statistics is doing their job, getting in new data and revising the jobs report. The jobs report shows that between March and March of 2024 and 2025, about 911,000 jobs disappeared, meaning they counted jobs that didn't really exist. And so they subtracted them, meaning the economy was in okay but not great shape when Donald Trump inherited it, and when he's applying his fiscal policies, his economic policies, his tariff policies, he made a medium economy into a terrible economy overnight. And now Donald Trump is attacking the Bureau of Labor Statistics again, threatening to fire other people as he tries to get his new Bureau of Labor Statistics critic, E.J. Antoni, in at the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And that combination of events, his administration, his press secretaries call illogical nonsense. That's what they call effectively what I do every morning. Each and every morning, we're here now Wednesday morning for Legal AF, my analysis using my Wall Street and economic background in combination with my law training to tell you what's happening. I'm glad you're here. Hit the free subscribe button. What has happened? 2 days ago, we got the jobs report, which said that Donald Trump's economy is stalled at best. Dismal job numbers, impeachable job numbers, criminal job numbers. And now we know that they were about 2/3 to 3/4 smaller than Joe Biden on his worst day. Even with the reduction of the job numbers today, and I'll go over why that happened, by 911,000. It still means that Joe Biden made 70,000 new jobs every month he was in office, including the last year, a month. Compare that to Donald Trump at 14,000, subject to future revision. You don't think 3 months from now or 6 months from now, when the Bureau of Labor Statistics revises the numbers for this period, that they're not going to reduce those numbers? They are. So his best day, Donald Trump, is 14,000. It'll be negative numbers by the time we get around to it. Why does the Bureau of Labor Statistics make changes? It's not for politics. You ever spent any time with a statistician or an actuarial or person in life insurance or as an economic statistician? You think these people are political? They're appointed to long terms. They're economists doing their job in a nonpartisan way until Donald Trump showed up and didn't like the numbers and is now attacking the numbers. So why the change? Because the first round of numbers is done from a survey. It's done from a poll of 121,000 companies. But then it's updated primarily from unemployment tax records state by state, which are about 95% accurate. Not every company files their taxes, but about 95% accurate. But there is a lag because it takes companies a while to get around to filing their first report. So there's never a one-to-one matchup. So what you're predicting in, let's say in September, you're revising 3, 4, 5 months later in a look back based on data that you get from the states on unemployment taxes. But your initial prediction, which is what the Bureau of Labor Statistics is, I mean, they use modeling, they use computers, they try to factor in things to make sure their numbers are right, but it's a poll, sort of like the elections are a poll. Sure, they use all sorts of statistician models and algorithms and all of that. You know, I learned some of it, Sigma notation, when I learned statistics in college and law school, but it has to be revised with real and actual data. We all lived through that. Every administration has lived through that. But Donald Trump says, no, I need real-time data right now. How are you going to get real-time data right now? Go door to door for the millions of businesses and do a census-like survey? It's impossible. No, I'll put E.J. Antoni in, the Bureau of Labor Statistics critic. The guy is not qualified. He's not that kind of statistician or economist. He's just MAGA. And so while we're waiting around for him, there's at least an adult in the room, the acting commissioner, William Wyatrowski, who's been the acting commissioner before. He's holding down the fort. But Donald Trump said he's about ready, according to new reporting here on this hot take, he's about ready through his Council of Economic Advisors to issue a criticism of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, who's heads the Council of Economic Advisors? Kevin Hassert. Who's that? That's the leading candidate to be the Federal Reserve chairman after Jay Powell's term is over in May. So the guy trying out for the job is going after Donald Trump's pet peeve of the Bureau of Labor Statistics to try to make improvements. Can the statistical model used by the Bureau of Labor Statistics be improved? Maybe. I'd be up for it if it wasn't in the hands of MAGA and who are people that are unqualified. Or is it going to be used as a political talking point? This new report that's going to be made public, going to be used as a talking point by Donald Trump and E.J. Antoni to get confirmed by the Senate for the job as a commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and Kevin Hassett to use it as a campaign platform for him to become the Federal Reserve chairman. I vote for that. And the illogical nonsense comment, which I took personally, which came out from the Trump administration spokespeople, is like, it was the working theory that they're going to use the report to continue to criticize the Bureau of Labor Statistics and undermine it and fire people there and replace them with MAGA, just like they did in the Department of Justice, putting Jan 6ers and election deniers in key election integrity spots. Same thing will happen at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's not unintelligible nonsense or illogical nonsense. It is obvious. It is logic. And that's what we're watching. So what's going to happen off of this? The takeaway is we're at the start of a recession. I mean, I don't know if there's another way to sugarcoat this. It started to slow down, but not go into recession mode towards the end of Biden. I'm sure the campaign didn't help. I'm sure Donald Trump's attacks didn't help. And it made the economy sort of pull in its oars. There was a lack of investment, a lack of certainty about the future, which impacted business development, manufacturing, supply chain, job creation, and the rest. Then Trump gets elected, and there's a little bit of a hooray, like from people that create jobs and supply and the manufacturers and the service providers, but that was dashed by April. It only lived 3 months when Donald Trump announced that the entire framework of his economy was going to be tariffs and attacking our allies. Once he announced that the reciprocal tariffs on 138 countries in April, then we went from sort of level wait and see by the business that was already coming off of what looked like a slowdown in business creation and economic growth to an accelerant and a hard slide over the cliff. Donald Trump is responsible for. That's the Trump economy. The Biden economy was a slowdown. And so instead of 170,000 jobs every month, it looks like it was about 70,000 jobs every month. Still pretty solid. Still 3 to 4 times what Donald Trump is making. But it also shows the quiet cracking had started of the economy, which means Trump should have been more traditional in his approach to be the steward of our economy, right? And not been so radical. Here's what I'll do. I'll cut hundreds of billions of dollars of foreign aid behind which there's an American job for every one of those dollars. I'll cut funding to the states. I'll fire and put on the unemployment lines hundreds of thousands of federal workers who are not only voters, but they're consumers, right? I'll then attack our allies economically and otherwise, force them to spend money they may or may not have towards NATO and self-defense, because I'm going to pull away if not. Then I'm going to attack them with tariffs. I'm going to have products and inventory and goods move away from the United States to avoid the tariffs and stay in Europe. I'm going to benefit China and Russia and India in all of this. I'm going to benefit Canada and Brazil and Mexico. While on the surface, I'm supposed to be benefiting America first in the economy. I'm going to bring in very few tax dollars, which then get destroyed by court decisions. And this is my economic model. How's it going? And I wonder why there's no job creation and there's no economic growth. Because as the Wall Street Journal just put, Yesterday in their editorial page, repeat after me. This is the Wall Street Journal now. This is to the Trump administration. Tariffs are taxes, and taxes are terrible for economic growth. Ta-da! That's he's one-trick pony. That's it. That's all I got. So we'll continue to follow what happens at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, what happens with the revisions. You now understand why the Bureau of Labor Statistics has to revise things. It ain't politics. It's the difference between initial surveys of 121,000 businesses and the actual data they get months later from the unemployment tax rolls. That's the answer, and you may benefit from an increase. There's been increased revisions upward. Just hasn't happened recently, and certainly doesn't happen in a Trump economy. I'll continue to follow it. Thanks for being on Legal AF. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button. Come over to Legal AF Substack. We're really trying to make the build there important. Become a paid member of Legal AF Substack. You get a lot of benefits there, including my live reporting and other comment and commentary. Come over to Legal AF Substack and hit the subscribe button. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event, by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.